Let's go over a new tool that they just added to Photoshop, this selection brush tool. So it's in the spirit of all these other selection tools that you can make. But I think what people like about this tool is it's very visual. So for example, if I wanted to mask the sky away, before I use this tool, I would go in here, make a mask, and brush away, and you could see it. Okay, fine. You can absolutely do it that way. There's no problem with doing it that way. What this tool does, let's just up the opacity just so it's 100% so you can see. What this tool is going to do is here's going to be my selection. Things that are pink are going to be selected. So if I go like this as my selection, that is a selection. It's just very visual that's there. It just doesn't have the dotted ants around it, doesn't have the line around it. So now I can go and do a mask, and there it goes. Right? Is that any different than putting a mask on it and using a brush to soften it? No, not at all. I think it's just another way to get there, a quicker way to get that. I think it was in some other software, and Photoshop felt like they needed to add it. What I will say is, what's nice about this is once I have that, if I use any of the selection tools, it's showing me where my selection is. Okay, and I could deselect just like anything else. Where I think there's some advantage to this, just as using a tool, is I'm going to kind of paint in here, and I'm going to change my opacity to 50%. Now, could I do that with a mask and do it? Yeah, 100% I could. I think maybe it's people new to Photoshop. This may be an easier way to kind of get into it versus, right, this is the way that I would probably use it. Put a mask on this, right? We get a regular brush that's here. And I'm just going to start kind of, painting away at it, if it'll let me do it for some reason. Oh. So I could kind of paint away just like before, or I could say, you know what, let's paint away this bottom part here, right? And I can kind of do that, and it's taking away from it. So it's just a different way of looking at it. It's not a bad way. It's not a good way. It's just a different way of this happening. And I could do the same thing, adjustment. I think the advantage to doing a mask instead of just a straight selection is that you could choose and change your brushes. When I'm in this brush, I can really only do this brush. That's it. I don't see this for selecting, something very specific, because I'm just not going to paint in that same way. For example, if I wanted to select out the person that's here, and I'm in this tool, there's no real way to do that, right? Because as I paint, it's going to just be that specific. It's going to be that. So to me, this is just if you want a little bit looser of a selection. Yeah, could I go and do and select subject? Yes, but I'm not. You can see it didn't select the subject that I wanted. I wanted this. So it's not really doing the thing that I want it to do. So use this for whatever it's worth. I think it's a cool thing visually. People new to Photoshop, that may be a little bit easier for them to kind of see what it's doing. Play around with that. That is the new selection brush inside of